Alright, good Friday evening, everyone. Let's do weather for Weather Geeks as we head into this first weekend of February. You know, what a couple of weeks it has been. It's been a pretty relentless pattern for the last, 2.5, even 3 weeks, but things are about to settle down. In this video, we're going to recap, of course, our storm and talk about the weekend forecast and much, much more. When I am recording this video till about 7:15, we still have a little light snow and some flurries out there. A little bit hard to see on our camera, but if you look at some of these light sources, some of these street lamps and lights here in the Walgreens parking lot, you can see the snow is still falling a little bit as of 7:15. This is all pretty inconsequential and really is not adding up to much. This is a 12-hour time lapse from our Columbiana camera. The snow that has occurred during the daylight hours today, all fairly low intensity when compared to last night. Last night, of course, we had some pretty hefty snow rates across the area that dropped some very quick accumulations, even in places that, of course, waited forever to see the changeover from sleet and freezing rain to snow. This is a time-lapse video, and it just took forever in places such as Lisbon and Wellsville and East Liverpool and over towards Elwood City, kind of areas south and east of Youngstown. It just took forever for the sleet and freezing rain to change over to snow, but once it did, it accumulated quickly, and roads were just absolutely treacherous last night and into this morning. As of 7:18, here's a look at the radar, all just light snow and flurries. This will fade away. Might see a stray flurry overnight. All right, how did our storm do? We're going to do a little recap of the forecast compared to reality, and here's just a small sampling of some snow totals down towards the Ohio River in East Liverpool and Calcutta, 2.5, 3 inches, pretty common down there. Around the 224 corridor, 5 inches, 6 inches in some spots was pretty common. North Lima up to Canfield and over towards Poland as well. Saw a lot about 5 to 6 inch reports in that zone. Then you ran into some heavier amounts to the north and west. Austintown to Craig Beach to Newton Falls and certainly up towards Southington. Transfer PA had about 7. The Sharon area had about 7. Newcastle about 4 to 5 inches or so worth of snow and sleet. Here was our final forecast. Didn't differ too much from earlier iterations of our forecast, but this is kind of the final map we put out, and it had a big swath of 3 to 6 in Columbiana County, a lot of Mahoning County, into Lawrence, southern Mercer, 6 to 9 off to the north, and the heaviest amounts from roughly Warren and Champion and Southington and Braceville and places like that onto the north in Trumbull and northwestern Mercer. So that was the forecast. Here's a look at about what happened. Now, you know, this map there's a little extrapolation here because we don't have reports from every single location, but based on the reports, the reliable reports that we have seen, this map does not look much different than our forecast. So I would give our forecast an A, both at the beginning of the storm and then later iterations of the forecast, because the forecast itself did not change all that much. We, of course, increased amounts as we got closer, and we brought some of those heavier amounts to the south as we got a little bit closer. But overall, pretty pleased with how this forecast went from just a verification standpoint here with the numbers, but also from a communications standpoint, an impacts standpoint. We advertised and we really hit hard for a few days. Hey, this is going to be high impact. Whatever you get, whether it be ice or snow, just plan on this being very disruptive for a good 24 to even 36 hours, and that indeed is what occurred. Now, officially at the Youngstown Warren Airport, and this is our official number for our area, the total was 10.6, the 2-day total. That included 8 before midnight last night, and then about 2.5 or so since midnight today. And so that brings our monthly total up to 10.6, of course. That's the entirety of the snow we've had so far in February, and that's a whopping 8.3 inches above the average now for the first few days of February. How does this compare to last year? Well, amazingly, almost exactly the total we had through today's date last year at the Youngstown Warren Airport. 44.5 through today's date last year, 44.8 through today's date this year. This is about 3 inches more than average through today's date. All right, so the storm is behind us. We got lots of good news in this forecast. No, we're not going to have a 60-degree day anytime soon, but we have quieter weather, and it's really becoming noticeable, especially in the evenings. The days are getting longer, and we are now into what we call solar spring. We're about halfway through astronomical winter, and from now through about halfway through astronomical spring, it's what we call solar spring, and this is the 3-month period in which we gain daylight at the most rapid pace. We're gaining about 2 minutes 15 seconds per day now. This peaks at about 2 minutes 45 seconds, right around the vernal equinox coming up in about 6 weeks. So the days are getting longer, and they, of course, will continue to do so. A little trough of low pressure could produce a few more flurries overnight tonight. That gets out of the way on time for Saturday. I think the afternoon will be partly sunny, at times mostly sunny as high pressure builds in. Clear sky tomorrow night, another cold night tomorrow night, and then a pretty bright day coming up on Sunday, with temperatures sneaking back above freezing. Here's our next weather maker. It's not much of one. It's a weak cold front on Monday that might produce a couple of afternoon flurries. So temperatures this weekend, yeah, it's going to be cold tomorrow. Single digits in most backyards tomorrow morning, 20 in the afternoon. Back to the single digits tomorrow night, but then 35 Sunday afternoon. All right, a lot of us, most of us, I would say at this point, even if you're a snow lover, you're probably a little bit sick of dealing with this. After a very hectic couple of weeks, here's some good news. Here's a look at our computer model spread over the next 7 days, so taking us through the end of next week. No model is advertising any sort of significant accumulations. We're going to get nickeled and dimed a little bit by a couple of weak clippers that'll produce the occasional snow flurry, maybe snow showers in spots late next week, but I'm not anticipating a pattern that will be favorable for any sort of harsh cold. Once we get past tomorrow, now tomorrow is going to be 15 degrees cooler than average, but then we're right around average for several days in a row. Another cold shot coming our way next weekend, sending us back into the upper 20s for daytime highs, it looks like, by next weekend. But after that, the pattern should moderate once again, and February is going to go like that. We're going to have some cold stretches, but they're going to be briefer and not as severe in general as compared to what we had in January. Don't see a blowtorch pattern anytime soon. I don't see any unusual February 58-degree days anytime soon, but I also don't see a pattern that's going to support days on end where we're below freezing. I think those days are behind us for the season. Again, we got to get through a pretty cold day for tomorrow. Thanks for watching Weather for Weather Geeks. Thanks for paying attention to these detailed forecasts all week. And for those, I've gotten a lot of really nice compliments on social media. I oftentimes talk about the trolls and all that sort of thing. Look, I've got thick skin, and I don't have any feelings left to hurt. But the truth of the matter is most people are really, really, really nice. And I've gotten just a ton of support on social media this week. People appreciating the detailed forecasts, the amount of effort that's put into these things, and if you're one of those people that has shouted me out on Facebook or Twitter and I haven't gotten a chance to reply, just know that I've seen the comments and I really appreciate them, and we hope that we'll continue providing good forecasts for the rest of the winter season, and hopefully at this point the worst is just about behind us. Thanks for watching tonight. I'll see you back here on Monday, and have a great weekend.